Okay, reverse grab to ballerina. So in our last tutorial, we discussed ballerina. If you need to go back and review that. Right now, we're going to talk about the reverse grab. We'll talk about it from the floor first. So I want you to start standing next to the pole. You're going to lift your inside hand up high, and you're going to take your outside hand across your chest, grabbing the pole at about abdomen level or upper abdomen level. With your weight on your outside toes, you're going to lift your inside leg up, hooking your knee to the pole just about knee level. Once you've got your inside knee hooked, you're going to take your outside hand off the pole. With that, your hips are going to begin moving forward, coming to the front of the pole. You're going to reach that outside hand behind you, and with your hips in front of the pole, that should clear space for you to grab the pole just below your booty. So now that you've got two hands back on the pole, you'll be able to release your knee hook, bring your hips around to the side and behind the pole. And then with our hips behind the pole, this should be familiar to you guys, you can lift that inside leg and hook the inside leg around the front of the pole to come into your ballerina. Now let's go ahead and do it in the air. Now, technically you can do this reverse grab transition spinning in either direction, but when you're first learning it, spinning forward as opposed to backwards is going to be a lot easier. It will translate really well from our last tutorial where we talked about star spin to ballerina. So a rule of thumb to figure out which direction you should spin is to base it on whichever hand you'd like to have raised up high, your inside hand, for this transition. So for example, in this demo, I'm going to be using my left hand as my inside hand or my top hand. So I'm going to be spinning counterclockwise. If you would like to have your right hand as your top hand or your inside hand, then you're going to spin clockwise, okay? So you're gonna take about 2 climbs up. I say 2 climbs because this is in part a one-handed transition, so more than likely you will lose a little bit of height, at least the first few times you try it. When you're ready, you're gonna take that hand that you'd like to have as your inside hand, the hand that you'll have raised up high, and place it up high on the pole. Your other hand will come down to about the level of your hips, and you're going to be pushing into the pole with that hand to release your knees from the pole, pressing your hips back. Now right here, whatever hand you've got up high, you're going to take that same side leg and walk it to the front of the pole, hooking that now inside knee pit to the pole just about at knee level. So now this should look familiar to you. This is the exact same position we started with from the floor. When you're ready, your outside hand can come off. As your hips begin to move to the front of the pole, you'll reach behind you with the outside hand and grab the pole with your arm extended just below your booty. From there, you're going to release that knee hook, bringing your hips around to the side of the pole and behind the pole. Pull the inside leg to the back, and then reach that inside leg around to hook it to the front of the pole. Now you can leave that outside leg extended forward, or you can swing it around to the back, pressing that shin into the pole at a diagonal, and when you're comfortable, you can take the bottom hand off the pole. To come out, you're going to take that bottom hand and replace it back on the pole in its original spot, right in that window, and then you can release that inside leg hook from the pole, extending both legs, and lower your toes to the floor. Let's talk really quickly about a couple of variations and also some pathways we can take from this ballerina move. So remember I said before, you can do really whatever you want with that outside leg. You can have it reaching behind at a diagonal, shin pressing into the back of the pole, or you can extend that leg to the front at a diagonal. If you choose to extend that leg to the front, you can actually squeeze those thighs around the pole enough to release that top hand from the pole. You can hold this shape. From there, you can even extend both legs because you've got the security of those thighs wrapped around the pole. And an alternate exit would be reaching back up to replace that top hand in your twisted grip. Other hand can come into a cup grip just beneath. And with both hands on the pole, you can slowly release both thighs, allowing your hips to unravel, turning away from the pole, and tuck your knees up as you lower your feet to the floor. One last variation we're going to talk about is a variation to our entrance. So this is a very slight variation, but it makes a really big difference. So normally we would take this inside leg and hook that knee to the pole. And for this variation, I'd like you to keep that inside leg straight. With our legs in this scissor shape, we're going to squeeze those legs around the pole as we progress with our reverse grab.